Apple have been incredibly secretive about their events until now. The most watched video on this channel is a breakdown video where I analyzed Apple's events from a filmmaking perspective. I had to use a lot of my filmmaking knowledge to give my best guess about how they did some of the stuff behind the scenes. But now we don't have to guess anymore because they've put out a video where we finally get to see the behind the scenes of how they make these keynotes. So I'm going to be reacting to this whole unveiling of the curtain, looking into how Apple make their events, and also to see what I got right and what I got wrong in my previous breakdown. Without further ado, Timmy, good morning. Take it away. So here's our first little image of what's going on in the behind the scenes. So yeah, you have massive lights. I think these are sky panels and this crazy techno crane where you can just get these gliding shots. So the big thing with this is that, and the reason why they even made this behind the scenes is because for the first time they shot all of this on an iPhone, the iPhone 15 Pro. They've been so secretive with the behind the scenes of how they made these, and we shot this one on an iPhone, so it was the perfect time for them to eventually reveal the magic behind what goes into putting an event like this together. But I reckon what we're gonna see is gonna be pretty similar to how they did it years previously, but the camera would have been like a cinema camera of some kind, maybe a Red or an Alexa. We don't know. They were so secretive.
When I heard that we were going to be shooting this Apple event on iPhone, it was kind of course.
Yeah, it's just so crazy how big the rig is. It looks like a cinema camera of some kind, but they've built some kind of box where they can have like a cage in a way on the camera where they can put all these accessories on. So look in here, yeah, they've got a monitor. Yeah, this thing kind of means you can send the signal out, so you can have multiple displays receiving the video stream. This thing here is a tentacle thing for a time code generator. So I guess they're somehow syncing time code from the iPhone. I'm not sure how they do this, but apparently they can. This thing over here looks like an SSD. I know that with the new iPhone Pros, you can connect an SSD directly to the iPhone and have the files record directly to the SSD, which is pretty insane that you can do that with an iPhone. I know a lot of Blackmagic Cinema users like to do this kind of workflow, and apparently you can do it with an iPhone now, which is pretty insane. So essentially you can shoot everything, you know, with your iPhone, ProRes, Apple log, super high quality, and then as soon as you're done, take the SSD that has all the footage that you shot with, and then just plug it straight into your computer, and then you can start editing. Like this, what is an iPhone's brain just hidden within this, and then you've got the Ronin 2, which is a massive gimbal. This is an RS2, and this is meant for mirrorless cameras. This would look ridiculous already, having an iPhone on an RS2, and instead they put an iPhone on a gimbal that is way bigger than this. They've got some sort of cage on it, I guess, to help mount it. So weird seeing a phone on these pieces of cinema gear that costs like tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, so we have our first little look. That's DaVinci in the background, which is my editor of choice now. So this is the color grading. So they definitely color grade this event in DaVinci, whether they edit it or not. In DaVinci, I'm not sure. It would be weird if they don't edit this in Final Cut because it's Apple's own thing, so we'll see.
Pro, I thought it was the perfect place to showcase it. I agree emphatically.
Yeah, this is just some cool shot of an editor using Premiere, but this isn't necessarily what they edited it in, I guess.
50 monitors, and it's going off without skipping a beat.
One of the most exciting and interesting things to see is like how not different.
Okay, so the one thing that I assumed was happening was teleprompter. So yeah, this is a massive teleprompter right here. So yeah, everything is 100% scripted, it seems, which you would expect. Like they're announcing they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They've got to get their script on point. So yeah, even with the iPhone, Tim Cook is looking at, is just reading the script essentially as he's talking to camera.
On set.
This whole piece.
I was right. Yeah, when I made my Apple video, I said that these screens were physically in the locations. And I had a lot of comments that were, you know, questioning like, oh, why would they do that? What's the point? I also mentioned how the reflections on the floor just seemed too good. And also like, I just didn't see the point of why they would waste time VFXing reflections on the floor when they could just physically put a screen in the space and just have it be synced up to the script of what the presenter is saying. And it's true, they did. Filmmaking knowledge is tested and proven correct. Yeah, I love these sky panels on. I've never seen that before, but like, actually, yeah, I did one shoot where we had a light on a dolly, but it was kind of for a music video, so it was a specific effect. But yeah, just to have these two massive sky panels on dollies so they can move them around and, you know, manipulate the lighting on the fly is really cool. And then the techno crane in the middle over there. Yeah, and then on the right here, you see the screen that the presenter is standing in front of to show us all the cool Apple graphics. This is crazy. Yeah, you can see here. What does it say on the teleprompter? The new MacBook Pro is scary fast. This is such a crazy setup. With this head, this motorized head and the dolly and the massive teleprompter. It's crazy. But props, like honestly, I saw the event. I didn't see any noticeable difference of like, it looks shot differently. There's something odd going on here. So I didn't even notice it. It kind of is proof that if you have good lighting, the right idea with like the camera moves and everything, and yeah, some money, this gear isn't cheap. The camera actually kind of doesn't matter anymore, which is pretty amazing. And it's an amazing selling point to upgrade this mini iPhone 12 to the 15 come Christmas time. Santa Claus gonna give me a present, you know what I mean? So yeah, they have, this looks like a massive softbox that they have floating, whether it's a helium or it's probably boomed over with a massive crane. That's how they are, giving him hair light, lighting the environment, and then they have the sky panels on the front. But it seems like they're repeating the same setup, right? They're using the environmental lights. They're using these 4 kind of array of sky panels to blast onto the presenter's face, and then some kind of top light. It seems like they've repeated that on the indoor section. So they have this figured out. Clearly, they've been doing these events for some time now, and they're just repeating the thing that they do multiple times a year. Okay, so interesting. I was wondering how they were recording it. So this app is the Blackmagic camera app, which came out not very long ago. So it's basically this app right here where you have more controls over your iPhone. So you have things for ISO, you have things for white balance, and you can just mess around and have a lot more very highly specific control over like all of the elements within the camera. So I guess that really helped them out a lot to be able to, actually film it like as if it was a cinema camera. Because using the iPhone's own, camera app would have been a massive step down from the interface of a Red or an Alexa.
Charge it all by having the ability to go to an external drive with USB-C and Apple Log.
Basically gives you sort of carte blanche to define your own look in post-production.
This new
Yeah, it's cool. The Apple Log thing and being able to power to an SSD. Who's going to do that? Yeah, if you're a filmmaker and you want to make a short film on an iPhone, which is clearly possible now, yeah, there's a very specific use case of people who are going to do that. Maybe I should try and make a YouTube video just purely on an iPhone because I'm using an A7S III and technology's there. I can literally copy up how Apple did it, minus all the like tens of thousands of dollars of expensive gear. It is clearly possible. If Apple can do it, I can do it. I just need to spend $1,000 on a brand new iPhone. It's been proven that these spaces are real, right? They have got this lighting that is actually practical lighting that is physically there, but they purposely made it so they can do all these crazy DMX lighting patterns like that. Did they build these workspaces where they work? I think. Or maybe they don't even work there. Maybe they're just like show spaces that they save for the events and they just have them dressed. They're just sets essentially, but no one actually works at them day to day. Obviously the Apple campus people work there day to day, and the steps that Tim Cook is by, I'm sure Apple employees walk by there, but surely that base isn't a day-to-day work environment, because it would be annoying to be like, guys, get out, we're doing an Apple event, we need to get all the filmmakers in here, off. I'm sure that they don't do that. They have like full DMX capabilities to do whatever they want with the lighting, which is only useful for this. I'm sure they're not doing it when they're working there, just casually doing like a disco or something. Where they can do focus pulls. That's crazy. So the Blackmagic app can do focus pulls. Oh yeah. Holy crap, you can. Look at that. That's crazy. So yeah, I guess with the USB-C cable, they could very easily do that, have full control over focus. Wow. What a great app. So yeah, that's just some sort of crane and then a grid truss system, and then you've got lights amongst that. I guess maybe a couple of sky panels.
This is the iPhone footage.
It looks really good. I mean, it's lit really well. So obviously that helps a lot. And it's on like very amazingly calculated cinematic dollies and track and movements, all these things that really make your brain think, whoa, this is a super high-end camera. The lead editor at Apple. Oh, Liz. Oh my God. You edit in Premiere? What? Why? Those who've been watching my channel for a while know that I'm not the biggest Premiere fan anymore after they just went really poo and basically forced me to transition to Final Cut. Then eventually I'm at DaVinci now. But why are you using Premiere to edit? If you're grading in DaVinci already, yeah, like it doesn't make sense. If you're gonna gonna show us these behind the scenes, why don't you edit in Final Cut? It's an Apple software. If you're using DaVinci, that kind of makes sense. Like there's some collaboration clearly between, you know, Blackmagic, you know, using the camera app, they're using the grading, and then just edit it in Blackmagic because in DaVinci Resolve as well. Why Premiere? Well, at least like, oh, you Premiere people could be like, oh, Premiere is way better. They use it to edit the Apple conferences. Yeah, you can have that, I guess. So yeah, additional pro software and hardware used thanks to Blackmagic Design and BScript. Huh? It's a lens. No, wait. Oh, okay. This is it. Yeah. It's this housing is the same as the one that I saw in the Apple thing. So I was gonna say, like, I laugh that they put like different lenses on the front of their iPhone. Look how good the lenses are because we had adapters on the lenses. But yeah, I don't think they did. It looks like they just used the cage thing because it was probably a bit nicer to rig that way. Thanks to Blackmagic, but no thanks to Adobe. Why? You were editing with Adobe. Why are you not thanking them? Maybe you don't like editing with Adobe? Maybe. I've got to give Apple credit shooting the whole event on an iPhone. I never would have expected that. I thought it was definitely all shot with cinema cameras, which it clearly was before this, and this one was shot on iPhone. I couldn't tell any difference. I don't know if you guys did. Tell me if you did, because you're way more eagle-eyed than I was. But yeah, I'm happy that I got a lot right. Did I? I guess I got the HDR, as you guys famously told me I'd been pronouncing wrong all this time. The HDR, they unlikely didn't shoot in because they just shot an Apple log and did a really good grade on it. The sets are real, locations are real. Doesn't really look like they're using a lot of VFX. Obviously, the transitions between different locations, they're doing some sort of post work to make them blend and maybe some 3D stuff to make them blend. But yeah, all the locations are on the Apple campus. The screen is real. Yeah, they're using a combination of Techno Crane mostly to do like the main kind of tracking shots as the presenters are talking, and then drones, and then all the other amazing stuff that they do to make us hooked into these Apple events and tempt us to buy it. There are fancy new computers and phones and watches and AirPods and whatever else they sell. They sell everything. Apple are amazing. I'm an Apple fanboy. Or I wish I was if I could afford all this stuff. I would be more so. If you're curious to watch the breakdown that I did of Apple's conferences before they finally revealed how they actually do it, because I was pretty accurate with my predictions, you should check out this video right here. Hit that subscribe button, because if you don't, I'm going to take away that iPhone that you're holding in your hand. But if you're not holding an iPhone, then I guess, no, I can't take it out. You can keep your Android phone. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.